Gracious. Got a big crowd here today. Good to see. Listen, this might not have been always enjoyable to watch, but it was a heck of a game to coach in. I think a heck of a game to play in, highly competitive. I think two good teams going at it. Tremendous amount of respect for Nebraska. I've been saying it. People don't want to believe it if they haven't watched them, but they are a quality team. They were ahead on Kansas late at home. Obviously, we saw what they did to Michigan. They've got a small lineup that they can play well, small in terms of versatility. Defensively, they're really sound, extremely well coached, and I think Tim and his staff do a tremendous job. I think Coach Miles and his staff do a tremendous job. They are tough and physical. So we came into this game knowing it was going to be a challenge, just like everyone is. But I just can't say enough how much respect I have for Tim and his staff and for how well they prepared they were. And obviously we didn't have an answer for Palmer, but at the end of the day, players win games, and our older guys made plays down the stretch. Players win games, and they pulled this one out.
Coach, I think everybody in this room that's entered this room has been asked about the schedule this past week or so. 4 games in 8 days, 3 on the road. Just got back from New York City about 36 hours ago. How much did fatigue play into the game tonight, and what are your thoughts, if you have any, on the layout of the schedule?
Yeah, you play the ones in front of you. We've not talked about that with our team. We've done our best to prepare our team. Our strength coach, Quadrian Banks, as well as our training staff, have done an outstanding job. Coach Q was with our guys, our primary minute guys, all day yesterday. With some pretty, I think, innovative stuff, trying to get them prepared. But you know, we never really talked about. Well, listen, we got to come back, and we get to do this. We don't have to do this. We get to play here on Monday night, a fun game. So it was not a chore to do this. I think they'd much rather be playing than practicing anyway.
And then Caleb had, I think, 6 points midway through the second half. Then he just turned it on, had like 14 of 17 or something like that. Was there anything you said to him that kind of set him off? Was it just kind of something that clicked internally for him? What exactly happened in that sequence there?
I just told him I'd like for you to score a lot more and go get 14 really quickly here. No, I did not say anything to him really. I just said stay aggressive, and I don't think you need to say a whole lot to him. He's getting a lot of attention. He's missed some open shots, but he made some huge plays for us. And I thought our guys did a nice job finding him in the post late too. A really nice job.
You guys have won games, it seems like, in every way possible already this season. How important is winning tight games like this at home? You did it against Northwestern on the road.
Yeah. Moving
forward in the postseason play.
Critical. Yeah, I think it's important for us to play in close games. I mean, you know, I say that a coach would like to win every one going away, but and there is a part of me that says you'll want. I expected this to be a game that would go down in the last 2 minutes. Matter of fact, we talked to our guys about that. This is going to be probably a game that's going to go down to the last possession or two, I think it was good to see how we responded offensively and defensively. Great to see Jay Sean make those free throws late. How about that? 2 that I don't even know if they hit rim. It was impressive to see.
And then Andre, with your bench, only 3 points, but can you talk about the minutes he's given you these last 4 or 5 games, especially on the defensive end, what he's brought to the table?
Outstanding. He's really been good for us, and I've probably not made mention of that enough, but he's really been good for us in this stretch. Hasn't turned it over like he was earlier in the year. Has made really sound plays, moved the ball. What a great skip for an open 3 that Kada passed to him. And he's just a good player making a good play. It was great to see him.
Because obviously, I don't want to downplay the physicality of a game like this or what the physical effort it takes, but was this game as much mental as it was physical, given what you had just gone through?
I think so. We did try to move on quickly after the Minnesota game to what this one was going to present, just like we need to move quickly on to Penn State. I just think our focus needed to get off of Minnesota. We cleaned it up just a little bit on Sunday, but really briefly. Really tried to put in a game plan for how we would attack Nebraska and how we would defend them. They have a 1-3-1 that's unique, that can really stymie you. So that added some prep in our minds. So I think it was mental, but I keep coming back to our players and our older guys and the leadership that Jay Sean, Kada, Andrew Dockich, Cam, and now CJ, that they, the leadership that they have in these moments, and they really do get our guys moving quickly from one thing to the next.
I know, like you said, you move on to the next one pretty quickly, but what does a win like this one maybe say about this team? You're at the midway point of the Big Ten, you're still undefeated, but to grind this one out, what does this win say about maybe this team?
I'm bad at these kind of questions. I don't know. It was a really gutsy effort. And listen, I don't want to take this for granted. You know, I've never been a part of anything like this, and I don't know that I ever will again. You don't start 9-0 in conference play. So I don't want to take that for granted. It's been an amazing run, and just hopefully we can continue it.
You mentioned coaches would love to win games by huge margins. Do you enjoy these type of games where you have to make tactical adjustments, kind of go back and forth with the opposing coach? And obviously you win, but that type of game where you're really having to coach and it's not just happening.
I don't know if enjoy is the word I would use, but it was very much a game where as a coach you had to be very engaged because it was a possession by possession game. They answered every run we made. It was never beyond a 1 or 2 possession game. And I think it just like it's good for players, it's probably good for coaches as well to kind of go through those experiences, for them to see how we respond in those moments. And I think as a team, coaches and players, we've really responded with a lot of poise. The players have in those moments. So I do think if you said, yeah, we do enjoy it. You don't enjoy it when you lose, but you do enjoy it when you pull it out.
Chris, I think Andrew was on the floor like the last 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Other than his innate ability to throw an alley-oop pass,
Yeah.
why that long? What did you see? Was that just an age thing? How he commands a huddle? Why was he in there?
Yeah, all of the above. He's a connector for us. He's good defensively, and I think they were driving it so much that we needed a guy that he's very detail oriented, extremely smart and cerebral out there as a player. And what he lacks in athleticism, and let's be honest, he lacks athleticism, okay? He makes up for it so much in his IQ and his ability to connect his teammates. At times he's hard to pull off the floor because of those things. He just is. And I did not anticipate that he would be I knew he'd be smart because he's really well coached coming up, and obviously played son of a coach and played for an outstanding coach at Michigan. I did not realize he'd be this solid for us defensively. He gets, they tried to ISO him tonight and people shot over him at times, but he's hard to get around. So that was primarily the reason. He doesn't turn it over.
Coach, the polls have found you, the media has found you. Do you wish more fans would find you? 10,918.
Yeah.
I know it's a Monday night, it's a work in progress, but.
I just, we're doing our best to earn the respect and appreciation for the people that pay good money to come and watch us play. We've got, at least when I get a chance to go grab a bite to eat or whatever, people have been unbelievably positive and receptive. I've never really gotten into all that with looking at attendance and being frustrated one way or the other, because it's my job to coach our guys in whatever environment we're in. Obviously you recognize it. I will say this: I thought our the people that were there tonight were loud, particularly late. I mean, it was a really good environment there late. But we're gonna continue to work hard to make them feel good about what they're watching.
Chris, Jay Sean joked that he thinks you can see the future, and that you told them that this would be a tight game late, and that you told them that the Northwestern game would be kind of a grind too. I'm just joking, but like to have like the pulse of your team in that way, to have a vibe for how they're going to play. Just like, how important is that, and is it rare for a coaching staff to have it at the level you seem to have it, given the relatively short time you've all been together?
I do think that there's a connection between this group and our coaching staff that's happened a whole lot quicker than I expected. A whole lot quicker. But a lot of that speaks to their ability to be open to what we're trying to do. I think all that speaks to that. If I was just talking to one of the Nebraska coaches, if we were, if JT was a knucklehead, that wouldn't be the same. Not only is he a really good player, he's been so receptive. Obviously, Keita as well. So the winning has helped in terms of just embracing. But again, I always felt like even when we had some rough patches, they might have questioned a little bit early what we were doing, but they embraced how we wanted to do things, and it's a credit to them.
This is not the first time you've taken over a new program. Has that happened everywhere you've been, or is this on a different level?
It did not happen my first year at Gardner-Webb. That was a significant rebuild, and I think one of the things that it benefited when I took over at Butler is we had a rough year the year prior, so I had a hungry group, and I think it's hard to put your finger on the value in having a hungry group quantitatively, but I think we've got a hungry group. I think some of what happened last year has allowed this group to be even hungrier. So I think we, as a coaching staff, have probably benefited from that to some degree. But it's not happened everywhere. I think my time at Butler, it happened pretty quickly, but I had been there a year as an assistant, so it was easier. But I did not expect this group to be as connected to us as so quickly.
Nebraska seemed to take away the three-point offense relatively quickly, and how important was it for the guys to play kind of down low instead of playing out, or just play outside instead of inside out?
Yeah, we needed to. One of the things we recognized that they did to Michigan is switched everything, and they really made them play kind of on the perimeter. And when we did that tonight, we weren't getting much of anything because they're long, they move their feet really well. So we did try to play through our post, I think we were able to do that. It hurt us when Caleb got in foul trouble, but he was obviously really efficient in a short amount of minutes. And then Keita, again, they're late, really helped us.
Chris, everybody can see the way you guys play together, but just the pieces on the roster, how do you feel like those pieces fit together with some of the different roles that guys have and sort of different kind of players that you have?
I do think it fits well. I think that we always knew we were going to need another guard or two, so just adding, those adding Musa, Kyle's a forward, but Musa, Kyle, Andrew Dockich to Caleb was important for us, really important for us. But I think we knew when Keita was going to come back from injury, it was going to be a little bit more unique because we're going to play JT more on the perimeter than what he had played in the past. We felt like he'd be capable of doing that. And then when you have a guy like CJ emerge, it really fits more. So we've had some guys raise their level and play at a really high level, and I think that's I don't know if that answers your question well, but I think that makes everything fit well.
Yeah, no, I mean, it does because it feels like with Caleb, you have an inside guy who can
Yeah.
do some things. You have two good ball handlers at the point now. You have a couple wings who can guard. Kata can score. Jay Sean does it all. There have been times here at Ohio State where it feels like they have a lot of players who are kind of similar. It just feels like to me, this roster, there's a lot of guys you can see, well, that guy does that, and then that guy does that,
Yeah.
and that guy does that, and then the sum of the parts is maybe greater than the individual parts, because it just feels like they fit in their roles in a very natural way.
Yeah, and that takes some time to develop too, as we all know. I do think it's hard sometimes. You know, I would have liked to play more guys, more minutes today, but you can't do it all at league play. If you look at Nebraska, they're kind of the same way. There's just the way it is in some games in league play. But there is an embracing of roles that's required. And, you know, we tell our guys all the time that you can either embrace it or you can fight it. If you fight it, you're only hurting yourself. Because it's evidently, it's eventually going to show up in how you play. If you're fighting it, you embrace it. Andre Wesson's a great example. He's really embraced it in the last couple weeks, and look how valuable he's been for our group. We don't win the game tonight without him.
Coach, you were able to get 5 deep into your bench pretty early today, although they only came up with 3 points. They had a few key steals and rebounds. How important, I don't mean to keep harping on the tough schedule, but how important is that for you to get spot rest for your top guys and your starters throughout the game and early?
Yeah, I think it's really important. We weren't able to get kind of CJ, JT, and Kata a whole lot of rest tonight, which I would have liked to. 37, 33 is a lot, but you know, we're going to continue to trust and use our bench. We played 7 guys over 20 minutes, which is kind of normal. But we need to continue. Obviously, for Thursday, we need to probably utilize our bench even more if we can.
Okay? Thanks, Coach.
Okay.